Mike, what's happening, my friend? And Happy New Year,
Hey, Happy New
everybody.
Year. Great to see you.
Good to see you and good to see everybody that's joining on our first ever Fuel for Success daily internet show. We're excited. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be impacting. It's going to be a lot of fun. And our goal is to give a lot of content. Mike, tell us a little bit about what Fuel for Success is going to be about,
You're
my
absolutely
friend.
right. This is amazing and exciting. It's an amazing time we live in when we can create broadcasts and bring content and information to people using technology like this in an interactive way. And we're just super excited about being able to inspire and help people every day. This is a daily show that we're going to do every Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern time. That's every single day. We've made a commitment to do that, everyone,
Every
and it's going to be a 30-minute show. We're going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. We've got so many things we want to cover.
Like we've decided to punish each other. Like we can't sleep in our bed for a week if we go past 30
That's right.
minutes. So we'll be sleeping on
And
the
y'all don't
floor.
want that, so we're going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. And of course,
I don't
and
want to see.
of course, with this Spreecast mechanism that we're using right here, this platform, we're able to bring people on and talk to them. You can ask questions live. You can ask questions in the chat box over on the side, and submit a question down below here, and we can get a lot of information going. And so that's pretty exciting. And the format that we're going to use is we're going to try to keep to 5 major topics that we're going to cover Monday through Friday. And on Mondays, generally, well, this is our inaugural one. We're launching today, so we're gonna, and it's New Year's Day, so we're gonna talk about some New Year's type stuff. But generally speaking, what we're going to do Monday through Friday is Monday we're going to talk about health and weight loss related things. And then on Tuesdays, we'll talk about life coaching and motivation type things. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about spirituality and Bible related topics.
Can't wait.
Okay,
It's going to be fun to cover all these
absolutely.
topics.
And on Thursday, we're going to talk about business success, and entrepreneurship. As you may know, Matt and I are both entrepreneurs, and we're heavily involved.
One of my favorite topics to talk
Absolutely.
about. And I decided I want to start talking more about business in 2014. So I'm glad that we've got a whole show
Right.
dedicated to
And
that.
then, of course, on Friday, we're going to cover family and relationships, which is just you know, you got to have that right in your life, or you're not gonna be sapped of energy. And so the idea, fuel for success, we've got 5 areas of if you can be successful in these 5 areas of your life, you're going to see massive success. You're going to have more energy and all those sort of things. So we want to give you a daily dose of fuel,
You'll
energy.
sleep better. You'll be in a better mood. You'll have more energy. People will like you more. You'll be a better spouse. You'll be a better dad. You'll be a better employee if we can master those 5 areas. So I'm excited about it, Mike. Mike, real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out because I see somebody already on our show, Steve Justice, a friend of mine. This guy is first class. This guy sends me Starbucks gift cards all the time. And he just sent me a couple for Christmas. And Steve, you see this mug here? This is what I bought with your gift cards, my friend. And it's perfect. I love it. It's still Christmassy because I'm missing Christmas already, by the way. I'm I'm sad it's over, but you got to move on. This is the last holiday until what? Valentine's Day? Martin Luther King
Um,
Day.
yeah, probably. We're entrepreneurs. We don't get a lot of.
I love it when I throw Mike for a complete loop.
Exactly. We're entrepreneurs, so we don't really pay that much attention to holidays. Since it was what,
Yeah,
New Year's
exactly.
Eve last night, and we were working till almost 3 a.m. So
Yeah, I think I actually rolled over and went to bed at 4. I think I fell asleep on the phone with you guys. I don't know if I said goodnight, but
yeah,
anyways, we were having fun, and that's what it's about. When you're following your passion, it never feels
exactly.
like work. It always is just one of those things where you got to force yourself to stop because you're having the time of your life. And speaking of life, we only get to do this thing once, so we might as well do what we love, and that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, Mike, I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun. And again, make sure everybody knows that we do have a website we're launching that if they miss an episode, they will all be archived on that website, fuelforsuccess.tv, which is not completely finished, but it shall be extremely soon. But you'll be able to go to fuelforsuccess.tv and watch the previous episodes if you happen to miss. But one of the greatest benefits I want to reiterate is the Q&A aspect of this. Here we are. We got a live chat box. You can ask questions. If you want to ask private questions, then you can email us, send us a message on Twitter. Happy New Year to you, David, my friend. David, where are you from, man? David Watson. Sounds familiar. Thank you for the New Year's shout out, Mr. David.
And I see that.
All right, Mike, let's get rolling because I don't want to sleep on the floor tonight, buddy. Nashville, Tennessee. David, are you going to be at our Mission 25, my friend, in Nashville in February? I hope so. Speaking of Mission 25, Mike, this is exciting. I don't know how many saw this on Twitter, but we're taking 25 homeless people to Cracker Barrel on Saturday morning for breakfast. It's going to be a blast. We're first going to take them all Starbucks coffee. There's 2 different places where I know a lot of homeless people hang out. One is under a bridge, and one is in this area where there's a shelter, but there's not enough room to keep people in, so they all sleep outside. There's literally hundreds of them. So at like 5 a.m., yes, you're going to have to get up really early at Mission 25. We are going together to deliver Starbucks coffee, and who knows, maybe we'll buy 200 Egg McMuffins from McDonald's and give them all an Egg McMuffin. They always get donuts. Sometimes I feel bad giving donuts. That's why sometimes you see me giving away fruit to the homeless because they crave that stuff. They love getting bananas, oranges, apples. But believe it or not, bananas is the #1 thing that homeless people like. They always get cheeseburgers, you know, donuts. But we are taking, I'm excited about taking 25 of them to, yeah, I hear you, Steve, McDonald's. I know, bro. I feel you. Me and Mike actually want to have a juicing truck. Pray about this. That when we want our Mission 25, we want to be able to juice for homeless people right out of like a juicing truck. So I see that in the future. Anyway, Mike, let's roll.
Get us on Mission 25 and we won't cover anything else. You know, here's the thing. We were talking about this before. This is like our show. So we're going to talk about what we're passionate about, and we're unapologetic about it. And we're going to have fun. We are who we are. And we're going to cover these things about success. And, you know, we're going to have other people on.
God, family.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to bring in experts. We're going to bring in experts and interview them. I'm excited. So if you get a call or an email from me to be interviewed, don't tell me no.
Hey, real quick, Tim had asked a question about just 5. And yeah, it's going to be 5 topics, but every week we'll cover those same 5 topics. So we've got a bunch of stuff to cover on all of it. And we'll cover a bunch of stuff related to that. So we're at like 10 after here. So I want to jump into a couple of questions because it's the 1st of January, 2014. I can't even believe it's 2014, but I'm sure everyone says that.
Seems like yesterday.
I know.
Was 2000. You know the year 2000? Do you remember the year 2000 scare? What was it, Y2K, where everybody thought everything was going to go black?
Yeah.
Like all the lights were going to go out, the computers going to shit. Listen, I had an all-night lock-in with my youth group. I was a youth pastor in Tampa, Florida. I had about 100 young people there. Man, I had them scared. I preached about the coming of the Lord at like 11 o'clock. I had them praying in. I said, we're going to be on our face praying when that clock strikes midnight. And I know this sounds bad. Don't think less of me, but you got to have a little bit of fun with this. I didn't believe the whole world was going to like collapse, you know. But I had it staged. We were jamming some music at right about midnight. The lights were on. And I had one of my staff members kill the main breaker to the entire church. So while they're praying, right at midnight, it goes dead silent and gets pitch black. So I had kids crying, like screaming, crying. And I thought I got chewed out by some parents. But hey, that's youth ministry, hilarious. My friends. That's a whole nother topic, by the way. But yeah, it is 2014. I'm completely shocked.
Amazing. Hey, well, let me ask you a question. In your opinion, what's your best advice for New Year's resolutions? I mean, it's January 1st. if I had to ask you, I'm like thinking through my upcoming year. What's your best advice?
Listen, man, I'm passionate about New Year's resolutions. I am, because I believe it's cool to have a new start. But at the end of the day, it's like what I tweeted yesterday. It's literally this simple: make a list of the things, the habits, the actions that you have to do every day. See, a lot of times people get a goal, a big goal, like they want to lose 40 pounds, they want to save $10,000, or they want to pay off their credit card bill or whatever. They get all these big, ambitious goals. They want to eat healthier. Well, the first mistake is not being specific with our goals, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But what I have learned through trial and error and through studying other masters of the world, Mike, is that we have to have daily habits and daily actions. It's this simple. You ready? For New Year's resolutions, determine, after looking at your New Year's resolutions, determine the daily actions you have to take for that to happen, and literally do not allow yourself to go to bed until all of those actions are done. In other words, if you plan on praying every day, or juicing, or exercising, or spending more time with your kids, or writing a book or reading more, then you cannot just wander aimlessly anymore. That's got to be on your to-do list. It's got to be priority, and it's got to be executed on a daily basis. That would be advice number one. Advice number two, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, is always plan your day the night before. A lot of people that wake up, there's something about going to bed with your day planned out that just energizes you and puts you in the right frame of mind when you wake up. Too many people go to bed without a written plan. Mike, you and I were talking about this. There was a study of like the most highly successful people in the world. They all had one thing in common, and I like this: they literally write their goals every single day. I used to think this was like weird, because I have a set of goals, and then I started literally writing them on a paper. I keep like a little daily journal here. I'm a Moleskine fan, and I literally write my goals on the left side every day, and then my to-do list on the right. And it sounds kind of boring to sit there and write your goals out every day, but oh, does it ever keep you focused? So that's my simple advice, and let's keep it simple. Let's not overcomplicate it, but you've got to have a daily plan. You want to lose more weight, you've got to do things daily. You want to be better financially, you got to do things daily. You want to be a better husband, it's daily. You want to be a better father, it's daily. So
Sure.
do it daily.
Those small actions daily, they build up and they have a cumulative effect. Um, you know, most statistics, and I'm a statistical guy. I'm an engineer type. Most statistics say that people generally stop doing their resolutions by the 21st of January. Why do you think that is?
And that aggravates me, by the way. And you're right. By the way, let me just say this: I've really gotten into
Really?
colored pencils. That's what I've been writing out in yeah, because I got aggravated, because in my calendar, I keep even though I'm big into technology, I've got everything in my iPad and my, um, what do they call that? iPhone and all that. I'm really still big into like writing out, uh, on paper. They say the average millionaire keeps a legal pad with him at all times. And so I got a little frustrated that every time I would write in ink, it would bleed through on the other page. You want to know what the solution is? $1.99 colored pencils. And then I got everything with Caleb in red. I got everything with my travel in blue. I've got everything that's got to do with like other things in green. I got one for purple. I'm not going to go into all that, but what was the question? Yeah, here's the bottom line: why everybody drops off after 21 days. You ready for this? So I was telling my son yesterday, I said, Caleb, the most important thing in your life is habits, period. If you can, and I do this, I literally made a list of all the habits that I would need in my life in order to implement a daily successful life, because it's all daily. But I think a lot of the reasons why people kind of fade is because a lot of people are not self-motivated. They don't have good habits. They don't execute daily. And one of the biggest reasons is a lack of accountability. I really believe in the power of accountability. If you're not a self-motivated people, it'd be very good for you to share your New Year's resolutions with somebody that is driven, somebody that's kind of tough on you, somebody that will challenge you, someone that will kind of check in on you. And you know what I also believe? We need to establish and structure in our own life rewards and consequences. We let ourselves off the hook too much. That's why we actually let ourselves off the hook. Like, if I set a goal that I'm going to do, like if I tell myself I'm going to walk on the treadmill or on the elliptical for 30 minutes, I would be like flipping angry. I would be angry at myself. Like, I wouldn't even believe I deserved to eat for a month if I stopped at 29 minutes and a half. Like, that's how insane I am about not cheating and not see when we allow we don't set a standard of excellence and discipline and hold ourselves to a higher standard. So when we start letting ourselves off the hook and say, oh, I'll do better tomorrow. No, it's like I had a friend who always wanted to lose weight. And he said, I'm going to start on Monday. I said, nope, nope, nope. You're not allowed to start on Monday. You got to start right now today. Because you know why? You got a bad habit of always saying, oh, I'm going to start next week. Or, you know what? We got a new month coming. Or, you know, New Year's coming. That's why everybody ate like a freak over the last 3 weeks, because we knew New Year's coming. Man, they sell more vegetables and salads and produce the first week of January. You should have seen my gym yesterday. It was insane. I couldn't even find a parking place. But about February and March, oh my Lord, it's like a ghost town in there. You know what? We need to be just as passionate about a new day as we are a new year. Put that on the screen. We need to be just as passionate about a new day in March, March 18th, June 5th, August 8th, as we are January 1st. That same drive, that feeling that you have right now. It's a new year. I've been reading on Twitter, and I get a kick out of it. You know, everybody's so fired up. Get fired up in April. It's a new day. Every day is a new day. Today's the first day of the rest of your life.
I agree. That's good. Hey, David.
Sorry for yelling, but it wasn't a mean yell. It was a passionate yell.
Hey, John Kennard uses Evernote to keep his goals. I actually use Evernote. I love it. David Watson says OneNote because those are both phone apps. I haven't used OneNote. I have used Evernote, and it's fantastic because you can keep all of it. It's always with you. I do like, you know, the tactile feel of a pen and paper, and it invites creativity, in my opinion. Hey, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I tried Evernote. But you got to show me how to use it when you get here in a month.
All right.
Or 3 weeks. Hey, I see my friend Tim Downs is on today. That's like having, you know, my Lord, this guy is doing incredible things in Atlanta. You need to go to his website. I believe it's called AtlantaHopeCenter.com. Mike, maybe you can put it up there. If you don't know Tim Downs, you need to get to know him. He's building a great, great church that's probably as close to the way Jesus would do it as anything I've ever seen in the city of Atlanta. Definitely a ministry and a church you'll want to support. Thanks, Steve. There you go. I'm trying to get it done here, my friend. Okay, Mike, go ahead. What were you saying, buddy?
Just putting up the website there real quick. I was actually going to say that I see Robert Johnson has a question here. He says, I'm going to put it up. What would you recommend for someone who has identified their daily habits but has difficulty executing?
There's just one way to handle that, and that's to will yourself. You don't feel your way into action, you act your way into feeling. So here's what you do. I'm going to give you something that helps me stay on track. I literally did this like last week. I made a list of the 20 things I regret in 2013. And I made a list of my 20 biggest successes, the 20 things that I felt the best about. Now, that little habit and what I actually do before bed, I literally before bed every night, quickly, it only takes me like 5 minutes, I type out the things that I regretted for that day. And then I type out the things that I felt good about. And what's amazing is how this energizes you, because you actually do a lot throughout the day that you don't realize you do. In fact, I was telling my son this yesterday. I said, Caleb, make a list of the things that energize you and do those things. But so when I'm always looking daily at, God, man, I can't believe I forgot to, write that thank you card, or I can't believe that I didn't read my Bible today. Oh, it puts me in such an insane focus for the next day. So to answer your question, once you've identified your habits and you have a difficulty executing, there's just honestly, you got to punish yourself, to set up a reward and a consequence and say, okay, this is a priority. This is a 911 priority in my life. This is, like I always tell people, don't have a to-do list, have a must-be-done list. Anything that gets on that must-be-done list is sacred. You hear me? It is as sacred as if your son was in the emergency room. Whatever is on your must-be-done list, that's how sacred you got to treat it. You got to say, if it gets on this list, I cannot sleep until it's done. So when you get that serious about it, you won't have a difficulty executing. And then one of the reasons why people have a difficulty executing is because they allow distraction in their life. This has been a weakness of mine. I'll be very transparent with you. I have a lot of things in my life that try to distract me. And so that's always something that holds us back from executing. But having someone like Mike Hopkins in my life, we're always telling each other straight up, I need more execution out of you. We'll be on the phone and I'll ask him something, or he'll ask me something. He'll say, hey, did you call that guy? And I'll say, oh, not yet. And he'll say, Matt, come on, I got to have some more execution out of you. And I can take that. I'm not going to like cry and be hurt and not talk to him for 3 months.
Accountability is a powerful thing. I think one of the other things, we tend to avoid confronting ourselves with our own failures. You talked about your regrets for the day. And a lot of times, I don't know, we sort of avoid even thinking about the stuff that we didn't do. We like hide from it mentally. And I think, being willing to look at it and say, my goal is to be better. So until I look at my failures and really acknowledge them, I'm going to have a hard time getting any better.
Yeah, I agree, my friend.
Hey, we're down to like 6 minutes here, Matt. So I'm really interested. What's your biggest focus? If I was to ask you personally in 2014, what are the top 3 things that you want to see happen?
Man, that's a good question. Number one for me this year is I'm going to be insane about writing. I feel like I've gone into a new season of life that from now until I die, I need to continuously be putting out books and ebooks. I feel like I've had a lot of experiences and I want to share those. I don't want to go into a casket with this stuff in my brain and not give it back to the world. I feel like where much is given, much is required. God has blessed me with so many unbelievable experiences, and I've failed a lot. I have literally failed more than what anybody would realize in so many areas, and so therefore I've learned so many lessons that I want to leave something in the hands of Caleb and my future great. Once you write a book, it's there forever. So I don't know why more people, I get sad when I see legends in our organization that are in their 70s and 80s that have never written a book. It just blows my mind. I'm like, they're going to die and we don't have anything to grab from them. And so my biggest focus for 2014 is I've literally committed to daily writing, and whatever that produces, I think I'm going to be able to do 4 books this year. I know I'm going to be pretty insane about a lot of ebooks, even if they're shorter, but I really feel that's number one. I mean, obviously, Caleb. I mean, I'm pretty good there as far as where I'm at as a dad. Believe it or not, this is going to shock a lot of people. I really want to get married this year. I have no earthly idea when or who, but I think it's getting close to time to getting married. So that's definitely on my New Year's goals. And I just sat down. I thought, I think I might get married this year, my friends. I'll put it out there. I don't care. And then number 3, the third thing that I'm going to be focusing on in 2014 is Mission 25. Mission 25 is a movement that God is literally, I really believe like I would go to hell if I didn't do Mission 25. Like that's such a mandate that God has put on us to bring to the body of Christ, to awaken the body of Christ once again to what it's really all about, and that's serving the poor. Pentecost is in a desperate need. I preached about it last night in our New Year's Eve service here in Tampa. We're just in a desperate need to get back to what Christianity is really about. Pure religion is this: visit the fatherless. I want to be insane about helping fatherless kids this year. I want to be insane about serving the poor and going into shelters, battered women's shelters, the homeless, troubled teenagers. Like this in 3 weeks in Tampa, we're going to a shelter for runaway and abused teens. I can't even hardly sleep at night thinking about how excited I am to just go and be something in their world, something that they may have never experienced. So those are the 3 things that I'm highly focused on for 2014: writing books, getting married, and Mission 25. I'm stoked. I'm stoked about Mission 25. I'm not just saying that because I'm Matt Maddox and I've got energy and passion. No. I'm like more passionate about Mission 25 than anything I've ever done. And you know, it's just going to be, we're going to 12 major cities. We're literally doing it. We're not having, I'm tired of conferences. The last thing Pentecost needs is another conference. We're conferenced to death. We're going to go put on our suits again and preach to each other. That's not Christianity. We need like 1 conference a year. The rest needs to be action. I mean, I know friends that have gone to like 15 I'm like, you make me sick. I don't know how you do it. That's a waste of money. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. And you're making yourself spiritually fat. You know, it's like spiritual gluttony. You're like the Dead Sea. You take all, you give none. So there's my rant for 2014.
It's a good rant. I like that. I
Pretty
like
good
the what you said about really leaving a legacy as well. And I think it's important for us to you know, to take what we have and allow other people to see it. David Sandy says you should have the wedding at a mission event. That's pretty funny.
Who did?
David Sandy.
Oh,
yeah.
my wedding? I'm feeling a beach wedding. I just feel a beach wedding for some reason. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, my future wife, whoever she is, may have a different opinion, and whatever it is, I'll grant that.
We're at I'm looking at,
I do know this: I will be an unbelievable husband at the homeless shelter. Hey, there's an idea.
Looking at our countdown right up there, we got about 2 minutes left, and I was actually
Minutes to decide if we're going to be able to sleep or not.
You had mentioned you know, writing and all those sort of things, and I know you're also a reader. If you had like a top 3 must read list for 2014 for the people that are watching this, like if books that they have to read, what would you throw out there?
Well, a number 1 must read is, and I've read it many times, is Success Principles. It's just by far, I read it every year. I literally reread it every year. It is just one of the best books. It all depends on what area you need to grow in your life. You know, one of the best books that I've ever read is Going Pro. You'll see me tweet the hashtag a lot. It was just a really good book for me in the season of life where I am. And then another good book that I would recommend is, I'm going to just grab it right here off my shelf. It's called The Richest Man That Ever Lived. It's about Solomon. It's got biblical principles that are absolutely amazing. We got 30 seconds. So I'll give more book recommendations as the year goes on. And yes, hit us up. Mission25usa.com. To register, we do want partners. Here's what we want. We want people that God speaks to partner with us. So go to Mission 25. If God deals with you about that, awesome. If not, we're still friends for life. Can't wait to see you. We're back again tomorrow. Tomorrow's on business and entrepreneurship. Thank you guys so much for joining with us, and we'll see you tomorrow.